Okay, so imagine this. A world where groundbreaking ideas, like they don't just disappear, They're actually nurtured and shaped and then like launched into the world with a real purpose. And that's exactly what we're doing today with your deep dive request on Arcana concept. You've given us, well, it's like a treasure trove of information here. We've got website snapshots, blog posts, FAQs, even some glimpses into their actual projects and the team behind it all. And it's really clear that you don't just want to know what Arcana Concept is, right? You want to get into the why, the how, the magic behind it all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how about we just jump right in?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so they call themselves a multidisciplinary research lab and venture studio. Okay, that already sounds pretty cool, but hold on, there's more. They're also like laser focused on building a positive and abundant future for humanity. Whoa, that's a pretty bold statement, right? What do you think about that?
It is ambitious, yeah.
Yeah.
But from the materials that you shared, it seems like Arcana Concept is really putting their money where their mouth is. You know what I mean? They seem genuinely committed to using technology for good. Like you can see it in the projects they choose, the focus on sustainability, even just the language they use. It's all there.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up on that too. So, okay, how about we kind of like unlock the secrets of this Arcana model, right? They've got this three-pillar approach: lab, studio, fund. It's almost like a magic workshop where ideas are kind of like forged and shaped into reality.
I love that analogy, the magic workshop. And what's so cool is that each of these pillars, right, they don't just contribute to this creative process, they actually help minimize risk along the way, which is so important for any company, but especially one that's working with these new technologies, right?
Oh, for sure. It's like they're combining, I don't know, like the creativity of a good brainstorming session with the kind of calculated planning you'd see from like a seasoned business executive. It's a cool mix. So walk me through this a little bit. What actually happens in the lab?
So the lab is where the very first spark of an idea starts. It gets nurtured and shaped, all about research, experimentation, really just exploring the potential of all these emerging technologies. Like picture that eureka moment. But instead of a bathtub, it's this, I don't know, high-tech lab buzzing with energy and people and ideas.
I like that. Okay, so the lab is about pushing boundaries, going big, exploring all those possibilities, but eventually you got to bring those ideas like down to earth, right? Make them real. That's where the studio comes in.
Exactly. So once a concept has kind of proven itself in the lab, it's studio time. This is where it gets transformed into an actual product or service. Design, engineering, user experience, all of that gets brought together in the studio to give the concept like a real form, a function.
It's like taking that raw electric energy from the lab and channeling it into something tangible, something people can actually use and interact with. Pretty cool, right?
That's amazing.
But creating something incredible, that's only half the battle, isn't it? You got to get it out into the world. And that, I'm guessing, is where the fund comes in?
You got it. The fund is like their launch pad. It connects the projects that have real potential with the resources they need to actually make it. We're talking investors, strategic partnerships, marketing expertise, literally everything they need to go from prototype to like market success.
So they've basically created this seamless pipeline, haven't they? Nurturing ideas from that very first spark all the way to making a real impact on the world.
That's a really good way to put it, yeah.
And this strategic approach, it's not just about the innovation itself. It's also reflected in their commitment to using technology for good. It's not just about making a profit. They're really invested in this tech for good movement.
100%. And for them, it's not just a buzzword. They're tackling real issues, access to education, sustainable living, even healthcare. They're using tech in all these new and innovative ways.
What I think is so cool, it's not just about like cool gadgets or disrupting stuff for the sake of disrupting. It really seems like Arcana Concept is driven by this genuine desire to make a positive impact. Like they actually want to make the world a better place.
It really comes across that way.
And their AI tutor project, that's like a perfect example, isn't it? I mean, they're not just talking about the potential of AI in education. They're actually building something that could make personalized learning accessible to anyone, anywhere.
Absolutely. Just picture it, a world where every student, regardless of where they come from or their background, has access to this AI tutor. They get customized lessons, feedback, support. It's all tailored to their own needs and how they learn best.
It's like having a personal tutor for every single student. That could totally revolutionize education as we know it.
I think so, yeah. It could be huge.
And it really highlights something pretty important about Arcana Concept, doesn't it? They're not just interested in making fancy tech. They want to make sure that whatever they create actually benefits everyone, not just a select few.
It's a really refreshing approach, I think.
Totally. And that's what I love about this. It's ambitious for sure, but it's also grounded in practicality. They're not just dreaming up some futuristic utopia. They're tackling real world problems, today's problems, and looking for tangible solutions.
They are, and they're not afraid to think big either. Like, take their ecosphere project, for example. They're not just trying to tweak agriculture and make it a bit more efficient. They're going all in, aiming to completely change how we produce food with these adaptable systems. And the best part is, they can be used anywhere.
So instead of just like dreaming about futuristic farms, they're actually creating real solutions for the agricultural challenges we're facing right now. Tell me more. Tell me more.
Well, with ecosphere, it's all about sustainability, right? Finding solutions for food security, dealing with environmental challenges. They're using all the latest tech to address things like resource scarcity, climate change, even the need for more localized food production.
Now that's what I call thinking outside the box, or maybe thinking outside the farm. All right, I think we've done enough theory for now. Let's get into some of Arcana's actual concept, shall we? You've given me some info on a few that really caught my eye, so I'm ready for a rapid-fire round of innovation if you are.
Oh, I'm totally ready. Bring on the innovation. Hit me.
Okay, so first up, we've got reliable genius. And get this, instead of just building one AI, they're actually creating tools so that others can build their own AI assistants, specifically designed for websites and products.
That's like wild, right? You're basically saying, hey, we figured out this whole AI thing, so here are the blueprints, go crazy. Which is a pretty bold move, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It could totally change who has access to AI, maybe even lead to this wave of super personalized digital experiences.
Okay, I like where you're going with this. So imagine every website you go to, boom, AI assistant pops up, knows exactly what you need before you even ask.
Right. And it's not just about helping customers either.
Yeah.
Businesses could use this tech to offer like next level customer service. Imagine the recommendations, the engagement, everything totally tailored to you.
Let's talk about a game changer. Okay, next on our list, we've got Realty AI. And just from the little bit I've seen, it sounds like they're trying to completely revolutionize real estate as we know it. And knowing your interest in, using technology to make things more transparent, more efficient, I bet this one really piqued your interest, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, let's be real. The real estate industry it's like begging for a tech makeover. And what Arcana Concept is proposing, adding all these sophisticated layers of technology to real estate transactions, it could seriously streamline the whole process.
Yeah.
Make it faster, cheaper, and way more efficient for everyone.
Oh, I can totally see it now. No more spending hours and hours scrolling through listings that are just like slightly off. We've got AI doing the heavy lifting, analyzing your needs, your budget, everything, just curating the perfect selection of properties. Boom, right there.
And that's just the beginning. Think about it. AI could handle property valuations, taking out all the guesswork and potential bias. We could have smart contracts, automating all that paperwork and legal stuff that takes forever.
Now you speak my language.
Okay.
So we've got reliable genius helping us build AI, Realty AI giving the real estate market a much-needed update. What else is on the menu?
Okay, so from the land, let's dive into the water for a second. Next up, we've got Scrub Sub. What were your first thoughts on this one? This one really highlights something I think is so cool about Arcana Concept. Their commitment to tackling the big issues head on. Ocean pollution, that's a big one, right? And they're developing these autonomous underwater cleaning robots. Robots.
It's like a whole army of tiny eco-warriors just roaming the oceans, cleaning up the plastic and all the other junk we humans have dumped in there. It's a pretty amazing visual.
Right. And what's really impressive is that even with their solutions, they're thinking sustainably. These scrub subs will use cutting-edge AI to navigate, identify waste, the whole 9 yards. Plus, they're developing self-sustaining power systems so they don't even need to plug in.
So they're basically saying, we're going to clean up the oceans and we're going to do it in a way that respects the planet. Love that.
Exactly. They're not just trying to fix one problem and create another one in the process. They're really thinking long-term,
It's super refreshing. Okay, so Arcana Concept isn't just about the what when it comes to innovation. They're also thinking about the how, making sure their solutions are ethical, sustainable, and ultimately good for the planet and everyone on it. All right, so far we've covered reliable genius, Realty AI, Ecosphere, and our ocean cleaning friends, Scrub Sub. What other cool stuff have they got hidden up their sleeves?
Well, I know you're super interested in the intersection of technology and, human well-being, right? So I think Vault's going to be right up your alley. They describe it as a revolutionary voice enablement prosthetic. Pretty out there, right?
Okay, that sounds like something straight out of sci-fi. But if they can actually pull it off, we're talking about something that could change people's lives, seriously. Tell me everything.
Okay, so imagine someone loses their ability to speak. Could be an illness, an injury, anything. Vo is all about giving them their voice back, literally. And not just a robotic voice, something that sounds and feels real, something they can use to express themselves.
So it's not just about communication, it's about reclaiming that part of yourself, that human connection. Wow.
Exactly. And it just shows how good Arcana concept is at finding those places where technology can have a real impact. And not always in the ways we might expect.
It's a beautiful example of how technology can be used not just to do cool stuff, but to really make a difference in people's lives, to empower them. I love that. Okay, last but definitely not least, we have Tree Talk. Now, this one's interesting. It's a communication device built for super tough, even dangerous environments. Like, this seems perfect for anyone working in a field where communication could literally be the difference between life and death.
You got it. Firefighters, arborists, search and rescue teams, you name it. If you're in a tricky situation and need to stay connected, Tree Talk is the answer. It's all about providing that reliable communication lifeline no matter what.
And from what I've seen, they're not just stopping at clear communication. We're talking advanced connectivity, super durable design, even some cool stuff with body heat harvesting technology.
Exactly. They're not just making something that works. They're making something that can be relied upon, no matter what gets thrown at it. And of course, they're doing it sustainably.
Arcana Concept just nails it every time, don't they? Cutting edge tech with a real understanding of what people need.
Okay, so we've covered their incredible portfolio of concepts. We've seen how they're using technology to tackle everything from education to the environment. But at the end of the day, a company is only as good as the people behind it, right?
100%. It's all about the people, the company culture, their values. That's what really brings the vision to life.
You got that right. And you've given us some profiles of some of the key players at Arcana Concepts. So shall we get to know the faces behind the innovation?
Let's do it. They're quite the crew. Let's start with the founders, Alexander Klein and Morgan Hurdle. What stood out to you about them?
Well, first off, you can tell right away that these two, they're not your typical tech CEOs. Alexander's got this background in cybersecurity, executive leadership, so he definitely brings the strategy. But he's also described as a business futurist, which I love. He's not just thinking about the next quarter, he's thinking about the next decade, the next century, trying to anticipate those big shifts and build a future that works for everyone.
It's like he's playing chess, but instead of a board, it's the entire technological landscape, right? He's thinking 10 steps ahead.
Totally. And then you've got Morgan, the UX guy, and he's all about the human side of things, making sure that whatever Arcana concept creates is not just functional, it's intuitive, enjoyable to use, and accessible to everyone.
He's the one making sure that technology serves us, not the other way around, bridging that gap between the complex stuff and the people who are actually going to use it every day.
And they've got Joel Yaffe on board as managing partner, and he's got a history of launching successful tech companies.
It's like they handpicked individuals with the exact skills needed to bring these ambitious projects to life.
And then there's Brian McKay, who's got years of experience helping companies grow sustainably. He's the one who can take these big, wild ideas and turn them into viable businesses. He's the one making sure Arcana Concept can keep going, keep innovating for years to come.
He's like the wise mentor, nurturing these ideas and giving them the space to flourish. It's actually incredible.
You know, it really seems like Arcana Concept has managed to attract some seriously talented, passionate people, each of them bringing something unique to the table. It makes you wonder, what is it about this company that draws these kinds of people in? Why do they want to be a part of it?
That's a really interesting question. And I don't think it's just about a good salary or stock options, you know. There's this real sense of purpose that seems to run through everything Arcana Concept does. They're not just offering jobs, they're offering a chance to be part of something bigger, a mission that really matters. It's like they've figured out the secret sauce, haven't they? Not just for technological innovation, but for building a company culture that attracts and keeps the best of the best. It's a place where people feel valued, supported, and inspired to do their best work.
For sure. And that kind of energy, it's contagious. It spreads outward, impacting not just the people who work there, but their partners, investors, even the wider world.
It's really inspiring to see a company that can be both ambitious and compassionate. Arcana Concept, they're not just building businesses, they're cultivating a community, a
Yeah.
whole movement of people who believe in the power of technology to make a positive difference. Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into Arcana concept, what are some of the key takeaways you're going to carry with you? What really stuck with you?
I think the biggest thing for me is that Arcana concept offers this really powerful counter-narrative to the way we often see the tech industry. They're proving that you can be successful without compromising your values, that technology can be a force for good, solving problems, empowering people, and creating a more equitable, sustainable future for all of us.
I couldn't have said it better myself. That's a perfect note to end on. This deep dive into Arcana concept has been incredible, and if what you've heard today has piqued your curiosity, well, this is just the beginning. There's a whole world of information out there waiting to be explored, so keep digging, keep asking questions, and most importantly, stay curious. You never know what incredible innovations you might uncover.